Ricketts.
Great. Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ranking Member, for holding this hearing today. Thank you to our witnesses for being willing, or our nominees for being willing to serve in the federal government. I appreciate it. I do want to hit upon some of the things that have come up in this topic before. First of all, the cooperative federalism. Again, states being responsible. Nobody cares more about our environment than the states. That's a former governor. That's what we want to do. We want to protect our environment. We want clean air, clean water. So we do want to work cooperatively with the EPA to be able to have it. And when the EPA just throws out state implementation plans, it really is a disregard for the law and our system of federalism. So I think that's one aspect that I want to hit upon. Also want to hit upon this idea of consensus, because there was a consensus early on in the pandemic, and I was just introducing Dr. Jay Bhattacharya at the Help Committee about we should lock down schools. Well, it turns out that consensus was wrong, right? Science is about arguing. It's about research. It's about not everything, like you may have an idea, you have a theory, and you test it, you have research, and there's going to be research not always going to agree. So consensus is meant to be challenged, right? That's what the point of science is. So we want to make sure that we're thinking about those things. And, for example, when you're talking with the Senator from California was just talking about oil and gas, well, why don't we sequester carbon dioxide? If you were worried about that, we can burn coal and sequester the carbon. The technologies could be out there. We don't have to reduce it. We can just sequester the carbon dioxide if that's the problem you're concerned about. So there are other solutions out there. I don't think we have to run to a one-size-big government solution about how to fix this, and that's been the problem with the last administration. They tried to mandate certain solutions like EVs that don't work in places like Nebraska. Let's let American innovation solve these problems. And one of the innovations that we can solve happens to be biofuels. And I know the chairman knows I love being on this committee to talk about biofuels. See how, you like how I pulled that all together? So the good news is biofuels are save consumers money at the pump. Can save consumers money at the pump. They clean up our environment, all the things that the Senator from California wants to do, and it's good for our farmers and ranchers. And so what I want to do is just work on making sure we can do that. E15 is one of the things we can do to do that. The EPA has been issuing waivers to be able to do that. But this is a very simple question for the both of you. The waiver is an annual emergency thing. To make it permanent, Mr. Fatui, don't we actually need to pass a bill on E15? Legislation has to be passed by Congress to be able to make E15 all year round permanent. Is that right?
Senator, thank you for the question. That is my view. When I served in the first term of the Trump administration at EPA, we attempted a regulatory proceeding to allow for the expanded use of E15, and ultimately a court determined that the agency lacked the adequate statutory authority for that action. And so my view is that if that is the congressional intent, then congressional action is required for EPA to be able to take that on without going through the RVP waiver or emergency waiver process.
Mr. Szabo, same question.
Just echo what David said, and yes, we would need a legislative solution.
Great, perfect. Second, additionally, timely renewable volume obligations are mandated by the Renewable Fuel Standard, that's a law, to be biofuels priority for the EPA here. RVOs are powerful signals to producers in the fuel markets. They need to be published reliably in thoughtful increments and should be reflective of market realities. I understand you cannot prejudge the outcome of an agency rulemaking, but I want to get you on the record here. Will you commit, again, because the RVOs that were supposed to be published in November of 24 are not supposed to be done now till December 25, a year late. Mr. Fatui and Mr. Szabo, do you each commit to implementing statutory directives in the Renewable Fuel Standard to publish a timely rulemaking for the renewable volume obligations?
Senator, thank you for the question. It's important that we hit our statutory timing obligations for setting RVOs. My recollection is that in the Biden administration, when the EPA set the RVO for 2023, half the year had already passed, and that's not the type of clarity and certainty to all market participants that are needed from this program. And so my view is that the statutory timelines are very important.
Senator, I agree with what David said and commit to make sure that we get RVOs out in time to provide that certainty for industry.
Great. Following the law is exactly the right answer for both of you. Thank you very much. I look forward to your speedy confirmations with that Chairman, I turn it back over to you.
you. Thank you. We may have some others coming. We did commit to have a second round. I have one question.